I schedule around 38 volunteers across 2 worship services, 6 weeks out, and I've built a system where a single last-minute dropout is a non-event. I want to walk you through exactly how that works, and I want to be upfront about something, that this isn't a Planning Center video. I use Planning Center, and I'll mention it because it's the tool that's in my hand, but everything I'm about to show you works with a whiteboard, a spreadsheet, or a stack of index cards. The software isn't the system. What I'm getting ready to show you is. Now, before I get into the scheduling mechanics, I have to start somewhere that might surprise you, because it's not a scheduling tactic at all. It's a culture decision. So on my team, no song belongs to a single person. There's no, that's Sarah's song, or that's the song only Jake can play drums on. Every song belongs to the team. We pick music that's accessible enough for multiple people to lead or play on purpose. So why does this matter for scheduling? Because the second a role becomes owned by one person, your whole system becomes fragile. You've built a single point of failure into your weekend. The moment that person can't be there, you don't have a gap, you have a crisis, because nobody else feels like it's theirs to fill. So, step 0, before you touch a calendar, you need to build a team where anyone reasonably could stand in for anybody else. That one shift changes everything downstream. Now, here's where a lot of people get scheduling wrong. They treat who's serving and what are we doing as the exact same decision, made at the same time. But I split those into 2 separate clocks. Clock 1 is the schedule itself. Who's serving, what weekend. I build this one 6 weeks out. Right now on July 14th, I'm scheduling August 2nd, 9th, 16th, 23rd, and 30th. And because I always work about 2 weeks into the next month, by the time I hit the middle of August, I'm already scheduling into September. It's a rolling 6-week horizon, not a monthly scramble. And then there's clock number 2, the specifics. For us, that's which songs we're actually doing. That one I only run about 3 weeks out. And why do I do it shorter? Well, because that's the window where the details actually need to be locked, but not so early that they lock in a decision that could have had a little bit more flexibility. And here's the payoff nobody talks about. When volunteers know what they're doing 3 weeks ahead, Tuesday night rehearsals stop being a practice and become an actual rehearsal. We're not learning parts in the room together, we're assembling something people already prepared on their own time. That's a completely different 2 hours, and it's a better use of everyone's Tuesday night. And if you're doing this on paper, the version of this is simple. Keep one horizon for who and a shorter horizon for what. Don't make people wait until the last minute for either one of those. Now, this is the step people skip, and it's the one that causes the most damage later. Before I build a schedule, I ask for blackout dates. Not after I've already put the names in the slots, but before. The week before I do my scheduling, I send a message. Rehearsals on Tuesday, thank you for serving, and hey, I'm building next month's schedule next week. So send me your blackout dates ASAP. In my case, that's a form in Planning Center, but if you're on paper, it's just a group text, a sign-up sheet, or a sticky note on a board. The tool doesn't matter. What matters is the sequence. Ask before you build, not after. Now, I tell every volunteer on my team the exact same thing. I don't care if you decline, I care when. It's not gonna hurt my feelings. I just wanna know as soon as possible. So my number is 2 to 3 weeks out. If someone tells me that early, filling the gap is gonna be easy. I've got time. I can ask around, I can plan for it. What I ask is that they don't wait until the week of to tell me something they already knew 3 weeks ago. And something interesting happens once you actually hold that line consistently. My volunteers have started coming to me with solutions instead of problems. They'll say, hey, I can't make it, but I already talked to so-and-so and they can cover for me. That's not me managing less, that's the system working exactly the way it's supposed to. This is a boundary that you set with words, not software. So say the number out loud, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever fits your context, and then hold it the same way every single time. Now, once you've got people declining early and swapping out their own subs, you've still got another failure mode to watch for, quietly leaning on the same 5 people every single week because they're reliable, it's easy, and they've told you they want to serve as much as possible. Now, I use Planning Center for this. I can pull up anyone's profile, see exactly how often they've served, going as far back as I want, but you don't need software to do this. If you had a whiteboard with your last 3 Sundays and your next 3 Sundays on it, you'd see the same pattern. Who's serving a lot? Who hasn't been asked in a while? Where you've got a thin spot. And I'll be honest, we're not perfect at this yet. We still have areas where certain people serve more than others. That's just the reality of where our team is right now. But the goal we're trying to build towards is a bench deep enough that we can run a true rotation, to serve one week, to worship the next. Tracking is how you know if you're actually getting closer to that or if you're just telling yourself that you are. And even with all of that, someone is eventually going to get sick 2 days before a weekend service. It's not a failure of the system, it's just real life. So the system needs a layer for when a person truly cannot be replaced in time. For us, that's multi-tracks. If my bass player comes down with the flu on a Saturday and I can't find a sub in time, I can turn on the bass tracks and feed it to the front of house, and we're gonna be perfectly fine. Now, if you don't have multi-tracks, the equivalent would be like cross-training. Build your team so that more than one person can pick up any given instrument or role if it comes down to it. The tool changes, but the principle doesn't. Always have a way to cover a hole that doesn't depend on finding one specific person in the next 48 hours. Now, not every season carries the same risks, and your scheduling should reflect that. For me, summer can be brutal. Everybody travels, and Christmas is brutal for the exact same reason. Not because the programming is difficult, but because that's when families leave town. If I know a season is going to be high risk for absences, I don't wait for my normal 6-week window. I schedule Christmas out 2 to 3 months in advance, specifically so people are locked into the calendar before their vacation plans are. This is the difference between reacting to a thin Sunday and seeing it coming. If you know summer is going to be rough, plan further out during the summer. Match your lead time to an actual risk in front of you, not a fixed default. So let's come back to that Tuesday night text. Here's the thing that I want you to sit with. The stress was never really about the cancellation. One person can't make it, that happens consistently. It's not the problem. The stress shows up when that one cancellation lands on top of a schedule that wasn't set, songs that weren't picked, and other people who are also still deciding whether they're coming or not. If everything else was already locked in, one person getting the flu is a 5-minute fix. If you waited until the week of to build the whole thing, that same phone call would feel like the walls are caving in. That's what this whole system is actually for. Not eliminating problems. You can't do that part. It's making sure a single problem stays a singular problem. Now, none of this requires Planning Center. None of it requires any specific software at all. It just requires a culture where nobody owns a specific role. You use 2 clocks instead of 1 for scheduling. Blackout dates are collected up front, a decline window that you actually hold, tracking so the same people don't actually carry the whole load, a real backup layer, and a lead time that matches the season that you're in. Now, if this is how you'd want to run your team, I actually have a free assessment that you can take now to figure out where you are and how fast you can get to a place where your team can be serving one week and worshiping the next. And if you're already doing some version of this, I genuinely like to know what you'd add. So drop a comment and tell me how you'd handle it on your team. And I encourage you to subscribe and turn on those bell notifications because we have videos coming out like this all the time, and I want you to be the first to know about it. I'll see you guys in the next video.